Well, hello and welcome to our front yard garden. This is tour number 20 for the year 2025 here in the South Carolina upstate. It is Friday, July 11th. Pretty day. It's been a little cloudy this morning. Now it's broken out into partly cloudy. Nice day, just about 80 degrees, very pleasant. It's not so muggy like it's been the last few weeks. And lots of color, as you can see right off the bat here, and we're going to get started. Right now it's about 11:30, so fortunately, since it was a little cloudy earlier, we still have some of our morning glories amongst the zinnias and lilies. Obviously, the zinnias have kind of taken over this front mailbox bed, and you can see all the different colors here. But amongst those, we usually don't get a chance to see these morning glories, beautiful purple ones. Now as we get close to noon here, some of them are starting to shrivel up, but still a lot of them are open. So usually I do these a little bit later in the day, and we don't really get a chance to see these as much. So this bed is right now mostly zinnias. We've got a few other things. We've got some phlox that have been blooming for the last couple of weeks. They're kind of almost finished up, almost finished up, not quite. And then we have these lilies, Asiatic lilies, which really are finished up. I'm going to say this is probably the last day for this particular plant, and I don't see any more buds. So we'll say goodbye to the lilies. Most of them around the yard are finishing up by now, or they are already done. But let's take a look from this side. Again, you see all the morning glories. More flowers now than we've had the last few weeks, and of course vines everywhere. These things will just keep spreading as far as they can. So that is it for that area. Now I'm gonna head up towards the house. I did some weeding last week, so some of these beds look a little bit better. This petite knockout rose still has its leaves, but not much in the way of flowers right now. We'll probably get some more after a while. I have not had a chance to deadhead. It's been hard enough just keeping up with the weeding alone. More zinnias in here, and I'll tell you, if you want a nice butterfly garden, not a butterfly but a moth here, zinnias are about as good as any plant. Also for bumblebees, we've got one buzzing around right here, and all these bugs love the zinnias. They also like these liatris, which are almost finished up now. These tall purple spikes, they've been blooming for a couple of months. These were just bulbs that we put in a couple of years ago, and they've spread nicely. So hopefully in years to come they will continue to grow and thrive. Working our way over here into the shade, we've got black-eyed Susans. And these have just come up on their own. We had a lot of them in the backyard, and they've just spread to the front spontaneously, which is kind of cool. That's the way nature is. We've got our climbing rose back here. At the moment, not doing a whole lot. It's got a couple of roses on it, but usually this will continue to put flowers out all through the year. So hopefully, again, in the near future, we'll get some more buds on that. And then we have Russian sage here, the little delicate purple flowers, some more zinnias, and also it's worth picking this one up. These get so top heavy. These are dahlias, dinner plate dahlias, huge flowers, about 5 inches across, gorgeous color, but the plant stems, they get so tall that these things are top heavy, and they typically do tip over after a bit. And then looking through here, we've got some more dahlias here, and we've got some phlox. We've got just a whole bunch of things. Even got a canna that's come up back there. I don't know if it's going to do much. not really thrilled about canna because they have a tendency to spread very quickly. Same thing there, and I don't want them taking over this bed. But more zinnias here, climbing roses here that are pretty much done for the year. Those are early spring flowers. And then this little, I believe this is a stargazer lily. I'm not positive about that, but beautiful little pale yellow flower with the little speckles. And I believe that's the last one that we're going to have on that plant. More zinnias through here, a few more Russian sage, if you look closely. And then we'll work our way over into this side of the yard. Now these hydrangeas, this particular group are all pink, and then we have blue ones over here. They peaked about a month and a half ago, and they've been just gradually fading since then. So they'll just slowly lose their color over the next few weeks and eventually just be big brown seed pods. These were growing pretty quickly, and then as the Japanese maple here has gotten bigger and bigger, they're more and more in the shade, so they're tending not to do as much now as they once were, but they're still giving us some pretty flowers. And then coming over here, I always call this the citrus grove. We've got these 4 small lemon trees here in small pots, and we do have 2 lemons, one, actually both of them roughly 4 inches in length, growing very slowly, but hopefully they'll start to turn yellow, and we'll actually have some fruit for the first time. I started doing these about 5 years ago, and that's the only fruit really that I've gotten off of these. I've got a big orange tree here that has done nothing. It hasn't even put out any flowers at any point, and then this lemon tree over here is even bigger, but it did put out some flowers, but they never got fertilized, so we never got any fruit off of it. And then coming on through here, most of this area is done for the year. We had a bunch of lilies here that the bulbs of which we put in back in February. Same thing with these gladiolus. They're done. More lilies here that are finished. Kind of makes you realize how quickly the year goes, because I can still remember that first video from mid-February. We just happened to have a nice day. It was a fairly cold winter, but we got a nice day and came out and put bulbs in, and they came up, and now they're done. Then we'll come over here again. This is primarily a spring bed. Not a lot to see here right now. We've got hostas that just recently flowered, but they're done for the year. A lot of iris, of course, they're long since finished. And then a couple hydrangeas in here. This one was purple, but it's fading out now. And a pink one a little further up, we'll see in a moment. And then our azaleas and viburnum here. We'll come around this way. Our big butterfly bush, the only one we have in the front yard, is about done for the year. It did a little bit better this year after having cut it back. It still has a few of these little purple flowers, but for the most part it's about finished. And then our knockout roses in the front here, they're pretty much done for the year. If I would get out here and deadhead them, which is a long, tedious process, we would get some more flowers, because all their energy is going to these huge seed pods right now. But it's just more time than I have, unfortunately. These are the hydrangeas that we saw from the other side. A little bit of color left there, but that's about it. And then we'll come up to our final area of the front yard, this oval bed up here. And even this has kind of passed its peak. Last week we still had a lot of color. We have considerably less this week. We do have some smaller dahlias, these little white ones. I'm not sure why. We've always had trouble with this one. They look really promising, but then the flowers never seem to really open up. They get kind of brown, and a lot of them have trouble opening up. And I don't know if it's a parasite or a nutritional issue, but these have really kind of struggled a bit. And then we still do have some stargazer lilies here that are doing well. Not a lot to show off. A couple other lilies in here. These are finishing up. Handful of zinnias. A little bit of phlox still back in there. Probably, this will probably be our last week for phlox, I'm guessing. There's some more of the stargazer lilies. And then our big group of zinnias here. These all went in from seed earlier this year. And nice big group of Asiatic lilies here. And again, these are all white. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. But I'm not seeing any more buds on this particular plant. So I think this one is about finished. We also had a bunch of daylilies in this little area. They're all done for the year. And then our big knockout roses here, red, pink, and coral. Just putting out the occasional little flower now, but not a whole lot to see. And back in here, our glads are finished up. I don't see any more buds there. And our monarda, which was the other big plant in this area, you still see a couple of them with the red, sort of spidery looking flowers on them. These were blooming pretty heavily last month, but usually around July 1st they're largely finished. So not a lot to see in this bed right now. As I say, a few lilies still blooming, but that's about it. And so we're transitioning into the midsummer, which tends to be a little less exciting around here. You know, our best time of year is spring, and then mid-spring, like around mid-April, and then into early May, and then late spring, early summer, and now we're into midsummer. So what we're really going to have the rest of the way out here is going to be primarily zinnias and black-eyed Susans, and that's going to be the majority of the color, honestly, for a while. But we'll continue to do these every week, and we're going to do our backyard video next. So stay tuned, and hopefully it's sunny wherever you are. And until next time, happy gardening.